Hello, I'm recording this for my Kaplan class HU345-06AU, otherwise known as Critical Thinking. I am in Professor Diana's Wednesday night class, but this information can be used for anyone taking this course. And Professor, there is no way I could pronounce your last name, so from now on, I'm going to call you Professor Diana. Okay, sound good? All right, on to tonight's business. We are in Unit 2, which is still some pretty basic information that we got going on here. We're learning about the different types of arguments so that we can go ahead and analyze them and construct good, well thought out arguments in the future, as is the whole point of this class. So, I've gathered from all the reading and from the discussion board topics that we've been assigned that there are pretty much two vital things that we need to learn: the terminology of the argument and how to conclude which is which, if it's an inductive argument or if it's a deductive argument. These are the two major types of arguments, the two categories, I guess you could say, that most arguments fall into. But before we get there, let's take one step back and go back to the fact that arguments that we're going to be learning about at this stage consist of two basic parts. There's the claim and there's the final conclusion. Okay? So we can present these in any way that we want. We can start with the conclusion first for shock value if you're like saying something like Burger King is the root cause of diabetes, okay? Or we can give our evidence or our claims first and follow up with our conclusion, kind of like an introduction paragraph to a big paper where you start with your main ideas and you kind of break it down and then you end with your thesis statement. The thesis in this example would be our conclusion, okay? The best arguers are the ones that can play with their audience, play to their audience, and present arguments suited to who they're speaking to. So if you're talking to someone and you know that to get their attention, you're really going to have to be controversial and get your idea out there right away to grasp their attention, you might want to go ahead and start with that shock value, with that conclusion, with the fact that Burger King causes diabetes. Where if you're talking to a bigger crowd or maybe a more professional setting, and they know, like you do, the terminology and the basis behind your claim already, you can kind of start with that generalization and then go to your root cause. Okay, so again, like I said, from the reading, I've gathered that there's going to be two main points that we need to understand: the difference between the inductive and the deductive argument and how we go ahead and decipher between the two of them, okay? So let's look at induction first, okay? Is the most common type of argument that there is. It's the one that we use in everyday life, the one that we don't even really think about. So I personally learn best from examples, so let's go ahead and start with that, okay? My friend Maria is from Mississippi. My cousins were born and raised in Alabama. Anytime I go to South Carolina on vacation, the locals always talk with an accent. From this, I'm going to go ahead and conclude that all people in the South have an accent. I'm going from a specific example, my friend Maria being born in Mississippi. Another specific example, my cousins were born and raised in Alabama. And when I go to South Carolina, people have accents. To my generalization or my conclusion, which is that all people from the South have an accent. Okay? Pretty simple. That is an inductive argument. Moving on. The deductive argument takes a general law or idea, and from that goes ahead and predicts what specifically is going to happen. So it takes a general law or a general belief and goes ahead and takes that information and kind of predicts from that information a specific example or result. It's kind of the opposite of what we just did. So from that example, let's go ahead and just use the same type of topic. All people from South Carolina talk with an accent. That's my generalization. Maria was born and raised in Mississippi, so she has to have an accent. I'm going from a very specific example and taking that down. I'm going from a very general rule, which is my general statement that all people from the South talk with an accent. Maria is from the South, so she has an accent. It's taking a law and is coming up with a conclusion from that law. Now, this isn't exactly correct. Obviously, these are very easy examples that I chose for the sole purpose that they are very easy examples with a chock full of problems with my reasoning. I'm sure over the course of this class, we're going to learn about overgeneralizations and oversimplifications, etc., all the fallacies that come along with these arguments, and those will come up in future units. But for now, since we're just trying to learn the difference between induction and deduction, I thought these were good examples. So deductively thinking, people from South Carolina people from the South in general, they have an accent. Maria, born in Mississippi, has an accent. General, specific. All right, time for a test, okay? It's pretty simple. I think we can all handle this. I'm going to say, because I'm from Chicago, I can say this. People in Chicago eat lots of pizza. It is the #1 order, takeout, and delivery dinner in the city. 9 out of 10 people in Chicago surveyed said that it is their favorite food by far. So a pizza shop opening up in the city should do great business, should have no problem whatsoever. Inductive or deductive? Inductive or deductive? All right, the bird flew by. Time for your answers. This is an inductive argument. It goes from a very specific example, people in Chicago eat lots of pizza. It is a #1 type of food. Everyone loves it. 9 out of 10 people love it. They would sell their first child for that slice of pizza. And then we're going to a very general conclusion. Pizza shop opening in the city should do great. It's not for sure. We're not saying for sure it's going to. We are assuming that based on previous information that we have, a business pizza shop should do good in the city. Inductive, deductive. Inductive, deductive. Review this material. It has been made very, very clear in seminar and by the discussion board questions and even by the project that we had due this week that learning the difference between inductive and deductive reasoning is going to be vital to this class. So take some time, learn about this, and let's move on to the next topic, which is more terminology, okay? 1 second.